time for reflection on the current state of black entrepreneurship. How is it seem to be that the older generation, I'm talking about the 1960 plus born crew and beyond, or before, still seems to be managing to create their own businesses and sustain it, and the younger generation doesn't seem to be getting off first base? What's your take on that?
My perceptions are on this. The first generation black people that came over, they've had it hard, where they've had to try to get into society. They've come over with no money. They've come over with no expertise. They've started off with very low jobs, and over the year they've built a foundation for the second generation and the third generation to build on it. And I feel fit that the second generation black British which is us, yeah, the black men and the black women, I think we've built on what our forefathers have set for us here, and I think over the years we've had I think there's been a lot of relationships that are broken down, and I feel fit that the father figure isn't there to kind of educate the sons and the daughters how. This is my perception. Because there's a lot of the first generation, black men and black women, they're still together. The second generation, me and you, as families, the family bond's gone. So this third generation, it's with where I feel fit that it hasn't, because the father hasn't been around and tried to educate the boy, and this is how you need to do it because I've done this and I've done that. But how I think the fourth generation of black, British or mixed race people will go is that the child never had that parent, and they're thinking, right, this is not going to happen to my kid, so I feel fit that the fourth and the fifth, it can only get better.
So you believe it's coming back round to how it was?
Yeah.
In the beginning, is it? The Bible quotes it, how it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So does that still, do you still hold that self-evident when it comes to cooking and the culture and the traditions? Because even the patois seems to have gone now.
Yeah. I think the patois and the how people talk the Jamaican way and things like that, and certain things about food. I've run the restaurant here, and to bring Caribbean food to the forefront of British cuisine, we've got to evolve, we've got to adapt, and that's my style of cooking. But I will never forget the roots of where the basis of all this cooking's come from. So traditional Caribbean restaurant, you've got to have curry goat, you've got to have jerk chicken, you've got to have rice and peas, you've got to have certain things. I mean, we were brought up on offal. We didn't have much money in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, so we cook a lot with oxtail, with goat meat, not lamb. We'll have the low quality of fish, salt fish instead of proper cod and things like that. And a dish that I did in the restaurant to start off with was, I love oxtail with butter beans, so I do the braised oxtail with butter beans on the bone. And I'm thinking, me as a chef, and me to adapt and make this a cuisine that's known and is presented well. I designed a dish in here and it goes really well. I do a braised oxtail, so I'll do the oxtail my mum and my grandma's way, but I'll peel it off the bone. It'll have the butter beans, and I'll reduce that and I'll blend it. So I'll make a dish like a surf and turf called a braised oxtail ravioli, where people can relate to you. I'm trying to get this off to across to people that don't know about the Caribbean cuisine. So I'll do a braised oxtail ravioli with a king prawn and lobster ragu. So I'm trying to take just oxtail and rice and peas, but I'm bringing it into a fashionable staple.
21st century.
Yeah, into 21st century cooking, and this is what's appealing to the Gary Rose, the Christophe Novelle, the Marco Pierre White, the style of cooking that I'm trying to bring forth. I won't call it fusion, I will call it New World cuisine.
Okay. I'm feeling kind of hungry now when I start talking about food like that. So what message then would you probably leave for the young people with regards to this downturn in, it would appear, motivation, ambition, we've got all the hairdressers are still there for the last 20 years. We've got Johnny Flowers and his mechanics, his garage, Ashbrow Garage.
Yeah.
I see the things that I've seen when I was a youngster are still here.
Yeah.
There ain't a right lot that's new.
Yeah.
Unless we start going into the Barrington Douglases and that. But there isn't that many after. Where's the 1980s, 1990s youth coming through? Or 1990s youth coming through? Yeah. Where is that?
There should be coming through. The thing about it, everything that you've mentioned there, Milton, is that we're very creative. There's a lot of people in the background that are doing a lot of positive things, but they don't come forward. Okay. Like you're trying to say, a lot of these things, mechanical work, is very creative. Hair cutting, very creative. Cooking, very creative. All of these things are very creative, but behind the scenes, there's a couple of my mates as second generation black British men that they seem to don't come forward and to be big-headed, because I don't know what's going on. Not being big-headed, they just want to keep it they seem to want to keep it on a down low, but there is a lot of positive second generation and third generation people out there that are doing well that we don't really know about. I mean, the circle of guys that I go around with, my dad always says, if you go around with thieves, you'll end up being a good thief. If you go around with positive people and constructive people, you always will be positive and be constructive. Like my friend, I brought my friend here as a shareholding in my business called Richard Dennis. He's been a company director for the last 20 years. Another friend of mine is called Velda Welch. He's another black man. He's the first black barrister ever to go into Leeds Chambers in the last 28 years. I've got another friend that I go around with, Trevor Joseph, that holds his own fleet of all his transport of all his white vans. He's got about 15 white. But these people, another guy called Delroy Beverley, he's doing massive things for Bradford Council and in London. I've got friends that are in Dubai now building buildings, but these people don't come forward. But there is a lot of positive black and mixed race people out there that are doing things, but they're not in the limelight. I'm only in the limelight because of these TV shows. If I want on these TV shows, I'll come in here and I'll just do what I'm doing.
I mean, I know most of the guys that you just mentioned there, and yeah, I mean, fair play to them. I'm very, very proud and seek a lot of aspiration and motivation from those people who are achieving. However, are they bringing anything back to the next generation that are coming through? This is the kind of thing, because okay, so they're in the background on the down low, doing their own thing. Yeah, excellent. But what about the next generation? What do you think we should be doing? Don't you think that us as the 1960s, 70s youth should be bringing through the 1990s youth?
I think we should be, and what the discussions that we're here. I hate to have discussions about race, colour or creed. It's about everybody, and for us to get to the top, or well, not for us to get to the top, for us to make this third generation people succeed in what they're doing. There's all types of people, whether I'm a black man and I'm married to a white woman, and this white woman is high up in a solicitor's firm that can do the paperwork for the consortium that we're doing. It's not about colour. The third generation of people, I put my time in there, and when I speak to my friends or the people that I know, I'm trying to say, right, I'm going to be doing something in 4 weeks' time. I really would want you to come because I think that you're a very good role model. And it's educating these people to be giving something back and to educate some of the younger generation as well. You can only start off with yourself. That's brought on this television program, this television program that you're doing, and then give me a chance to voice what I'm doing. And then you might be doing something in another 6 months, and you might say, Barrington, have you got a couple of your friends that you were talking about that can come along? And he comes along and he talks, and he might get into helping the third generation. It's all about education.